would be speaking today about digital transformation in construction. Yeah, the topic that I'm going to cover is digital transformation. What does it mean in construction? Okay, digital disruption that have happened in other industries. Where does construction industry stand today in digitalization? Few important innovations that are revolutionizing in construction. Okay, and how these changes are impacting the entire product development cycle is what we will discuss. Talking about some common data platforms and what needs to be done actually to reach the what we say as digital transformation. And of course, I have a small video of 1 odd minute on digital twin, which is being discussed quite a bit in our industry now. So let me begin with what does actual digital transformation is. It's actually an integration of all the digital technologies that happens, and it is supposed to actually add value finally to the customer, and it becomes a way of how a business is operated. So if I have to actually paraphrase that, I'm just putting up what does digitize mean, what does digitalized mean, and what does digital transformation mean as a understanding. I'm just trying to throw up that. Okay, I hope you are able to see this. I'm pulling up from UK. Actually, digitize means only making a digital copy of what was there in a hard into actually making it into a digital copy out of it. Basically, a master copy is done, and there are various things that are put together for information to be held in that set. But what does digitalization mean or digitalize mean? It is basically an organization has incorporated something to do with digital tools, and how that is being help the process move forward or bring efficiency to that. So even if you had to ask about PM tools and some of the other mechanisms that have come for information exchanges, that is where digitalization has been used. What does actual digital transformation means is basically the business is running around around the digitalization parameters, which means that business as usual would have been only digitizing it, but actual transformation means actually everything runs under, all processes are digitalized, and that's how it becomes a one-stop shop for making what I say as digitally transformed company. Okay, I'm going back to my presentation. Okay. Digital disruptions that have happened in past couple of decades. If you have to see, even construction industry has adapted, but not to an extent that anybody would look at. It is still very small compared to what other industries have achieved. But yes, some disruptions that have happened and how digitalization has changed the business by itself. The example of Uber, where it's one of the largest taxi companies but doesn't own one taxi also. So same thing with Oyo, where a lot of hotels are there, but they don't own a hotel actually, or don't build a hotel for running it. Alibaba, one of the, doesn't have any inventory. It actually runs one of the most valuable companies, but is a valuable retailers, but still that is happening. Same thing is happening with the telecommunications, WhatsApp, Skype, etc. But they don't invest in telco infra. They are service providers. The movie business has, like Netflix and all the others, it's the largest one, but still they don't own any theaters. So that's how digitalization has impacted businesses. The next one that I'm talking about is how construction industry and where does it stand. The one that is highlighted below, if you see, second, I'm just trying to bring out the laser pointer.
Anil, 1 second. Can you just minimize the blus? Yeah, that one.
Is it good?
Excellent. Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. This is where the construction is standing. Yeah, real estate stands a little bit higher, but that has got more to do with the sales and transaction related ones which they have adapted, but not actually in construction per se. All the other industries are graded and does not look good. It's at the bottom, I believe only above agriculture and hunting. This is 2015 McKinsey report that I'm trying to throw up. Some of the important digital innovations that have happened, 3D structures, printed structures. I've heard, I don't know, Sam might be able to tell further. I heard that a mock-up building was built with 3D structures in 2 days with, 3D printing machines. Many of them were put, and I heard that it was done in 2 days. That's something that is changing how we think about construction. Drone technology, I have used it a couple of places where surveying is being done through drone technologies. Couple of companies like Airpix, etc., are actually doing surveying through that. I recently came across about a couple of months back a company which is basing everything on drone technology, even including how it could adapt, take through even the AutoCADs and with the sections, BIM and drone technology put together, where you can actually track a project visually. The drone is flown and same angle and same GPS position is used, and the construction development is integrated into that thing, which basically tells that what is the percentage completion, how much has actually finished, and it actually reports back tentative next milestones that are going to be achieved based on the development that has gone through. I think its name was Navi Air. They are trying to come up big time in infrastructure projects, so to say, where road development and places where people are unable to reach, that's where they are trying to use. Virtual and augmented reality, I believe something where people have used it for more, at least the real estate people have used it for showing how it will feel once the things are completed, etc., but not actually like you can see the one which I am saying. The picture that I have put up right now is basically an augmented reality over a photograph that has been taken, and he's using how it'll look, the ceiling, etc., with the new services that are going to come. This is a blank floor plate, and he is trying to see how it looks when the interior happens. So these are some things which are getting revolutionizing or making easier for making decisions at a later stage, and clients are able to visualize better, sign-offs are happening better. The other thing that has come big way in construction is, of course, prefabrication and off-site construction. A lot of international companies have come and actually made us rethink how we actually think of construction, how to make it off-site. Data management tools, I am talking about how information flow has been better since earlier. A lot of PM tools, a lot of things like Econex and all the other people have tried to bring all the data management tools into projects so that the information flow is better and seamless and real time, rather than the delays that we face. Predictive analytics, I believe it is still in very, very nascent stage. This actually means that it has to evolve. More of it has happened in automobile and other sectors, but not in construction yet. That is something which I will, when I talk of digital twin, we will again tell about predictive analytics in that. Moving on, the changes that are impacting the entire product development processes. Design thinking, earlier it was all had to do what the architect used to think, and it was only left to the imagination of his that how it developed. But now with what I was talking about, virtual reality or augmented reality, you are actually able to visualize. A lot of decision making has become different, or the processes have changed, and it has become faster and more information being available, the thought through information. Hence, it helps the client to make faster decisions and better decisions. Changing in product processes, one of them I just touched base with, which is offsite construction or a 3D printing that has happened. Of course, in the consumption process itself, it has changed. The product development itself has changed. The co-working spaces, etc., that we are talking about, is something that is market driven, and people are thinking differently of the whole consumption process of our offices are currently. This is an example of one of that. Moving on. AECO industry, which is basically architect, engineering, construction, and operations, how they had thought. I just put a timeline to it. If I had to, maybe the years are wrong, but sooner or later, India has adapted to this. Since earlier, of course, 2D drawing, blueprints, and physical distribution, no internet or poor internet, no hardwares that were there, hand drafted was what was prevalent. Of course, today where we are, it is 3D drawings are quite possible, internet being faster, hardware being powerful and able to handle much more data. BIM that has become a norm now, though not in all the sectors, but at least on most of the sectors have started adapting to it and seeing the realization that it is actually providing that kind of, what do you say, utility to all the stakeholders involved. Cloud computing, yeah, something which is being used, but not to an extent that it is desirable. Where is it heading towards? 5D BIM, if I had to say what is 5D, 3 dimensions of a drawing that we have already spoken of. The 4th dimension is the time, and the 5th dimension is the cost. 5D BIM is experimented quite a bit. Western worlds have already adapted. I hear that the European countries, you are able to only take a project from a government only if you have a 3D model or a 5D model mechanism, which means that you are basing your tender on that, your progress development is based on that, your payments are based on that, and it is kind of an end-to-end solution that government projects have started implementing. Not sure of the private sector, but I'm hearing that more and more it is becoming prevalent. I was fortunate enough to actually experiment that in Piramal. We did a pilot project of a 5D BIM with a company called RIB, a German company, which actually helped us. And I could see that actually it is great if you are able to see, because it has got a lot of transparency. But the way we do our, how we integrate that to the actual physical 3D model is a little bit different from how do we contract or how do we actually do our works, how a schedule is built and what levels it has to be. Even the cost parameters has to be divided into elements, like how the building has to happen. Those were some of the things that were different from what we generally do. But if adapted and if we are able to move towards that, I saw a huge difference in how transparent it could be, not only to the owners, but also to the investors or the people who want to track the projects. So These 5D BIM, again, being heavy at this point of time, is it shareable to all the people down the line on the construction is one more aspect which is getting addressed, at least in India, because digitalization is not gone through the cycle where it reaches to the supervisory level where he is able to imagine or see it or have a mechanism to actually visualize it from there. But mobiles, apps, and the smartness that it is coming, it is being converted. The 5D BIM, I could actually convert it to a PDF in an elevation or a section or however I wanted to slice and dice, and reach it to the on a mobile phone or a smartphone quite easily. The collaboration value that it could add because of the so many stakeholders being there and it being very what I would say as dynamic, and a lot of parameters that keep changing in the industry or the process of construction. I see that tomorrow we don't have a choice but to move towards a what I call as a digitalized world and adapt these technologies quickly. Moving on, yeah, talking a bit about BIM, because I believe a lot of people have already adapted. But when I say adapted, it's been on a mega projects or for very large kind of a projects rather than medium grade projects or a small size projects, which are much more larger in volume compared to the larger projects. So I believe this has to become a way or a norm for everyone to actually experience this BIM as a coordinated BIM, to see that there are lesser disruptions or during construction, and there are lesser what do you say stoppages because of not thought through all the components of a construction project. So BIM, obviously, most of the people know building information management modeling, which I believe the first session of Bless covered quite a bit on it, and how collaborative and how efficient it could derive. I hear it is about 15% more efficient if at all you are able to. I mean, on the overall project cycle, if you are able to put BIM into place. So what is going to happen further to it? Yes, it is moving further into IoT and how BIM data can get connected to the Internet of Things, and how that can make it more smarter and more valuable to all the stakeholders. Just making some of the things that are at current and how BIM is moving. I'm covering it more on a scale that where we are and where we need to be and where it will go further. So if I had to do the divisioning or slicing dicing, level 0 BIM is where it was earlier. But if you, as I mentioned, apart from the larger projects and more people from international consultants or project management consultants are pressing all the others to move into this. Others which are below the line or below where it is not being monitored well and it is still being done in the very conservative way, that is where most of the other projects are, which is level 0, which is at 2D. There is no collaboration. It is got to do with people and how they collaborate and put it together. Of course, if it is not digitized, digital data size does not matter, but the information is still in paper or plus some digital files because of AutoCAD, etc. But what does it do on the time overruns and the issues that are there in collaboration that are missing, estimations going wrong, decisions being taken wrong because information not being available? So I believe a few of the projects or the larger projects have already moved to 2D or 3D comprehensive things. Most of the people who are owning that are builders and contractors as much as possible. Contractors still lag. Only the large contracting firms are doing it, but not a medium grade. I believe most of the people should move towards that so that it becomes more prevalent. BIM being used, clashes being found much before the works are happening, how estimates are happening through BIM so that there is more accuracy that has come into the thing. How version controlling becomes easier because the changes are adapted in a 3D model and you understand what all things get hampered. And of course, the construction time should reduce. Marginal improvement on the cost happens at this stage if you do all this. Design time, yeah, it increases because you need to develop all the drawings or detailings much ahead, even before the construction starts. But that the impact is that the construction time reduces. Now, moving on, where we should be, I believe level 2 of BIM is what people should target. And I'm not saying only one type of project, but most of the projects should move towards that. That is getting 3D BIM, doing a better collaboration, files are shared, and real-time queries can be raised and resolved much faster. All these BIM estimates to come out of this, and the drawings all should get delivered from BIM rather than deliver from a CAD. How the full version control should happen and how all the design issues are sorted much before we reach site. So obviously the design time, and if the collaboration is better, again that comes down. Construction time obviously comes down, and that's where the cost and significant changes happen because the efficiencies are better. People are able to deliver much faster. Yeah, there is something that we should look after for the future. That is what I call as a BIM level 3 of BIM, probably talking of 5D, 6D, 7Ds, all that. The digital footprint increases. So we need to have a robust hardware and the internet speeds to actually deliver. And the collaboration is better. The data interoperability is better because when I said 5D moving on to 6D, or that there comes the operations aspect where the model is taken over and it has all the data that it needs to be fed, including when the DLP finishes, when is the time that AMC kicks in to everything gets added into the model. This is something that that can be achieved. I would say we are lagging behind, but can be achieved. Okay, I talked about 5D. 5D actually, as I mentioned, explained it earlier itself, where it's a architectural model BIM, the structural, the MEP, and all the other services coming here. LOD means level of development and the accuracy that is there. So that creates the BIM model that helps to construction work. So it just depicts that what is the level, what is LOD 300, what is 400, and what is 500. The amount of detail that is increasing, that is what is level of detailing of BIM and how it works. Now talking about 5D, if this is your actual physical 3D model, what gets added, the fourth dimension, is the time, the MSP or the Primavera getting attached to the BIM. Then above that is the estimation or the cost part of it. That gets added. That is the fifth dimension. Of course, the facility management, which I mentioned about, is the sixth dimension that gets added, where the same model can be adapted for operations. So an intelligent object model, that is three-dimensional model, is the base for all of this. So till we actually achieve this, others are not possible. So we are at the stage where we are still incorporating at this level the 3D BIM. But the future says we need to move ahead. We need to go ahead here, at least at 5D.
Anil, 25 minutes
Yeah.
is all. You can take another 5 minutes to.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, various platforms that are being used in AECO sector, the architectural engineering, construction, and operation, they are all different. Why there is always a problem happening is basically because architecture is using CAD, Vector, SketchUp, a lot of other stuff. Same thing with engineering; they are using their own things. Same things are happening in construction, where they are different kind of tools that are being used, and operations themselves have their own place. But what we need is something that integrates all of them. That is what I call as a skin, where they start interacting with each of the players that are there and make it more seamless. So people like Autodesk, Bentley's, Dassault, all of them are started creating this the BIM, which actually interacts with all of them and bring them together on a single platform, which is very important to start off the collaboration. If it is in different modules and different things that work together, then there is chances of slip ups. So it is important to actually bring it to a level of what I call as common data, so that it becomes usable at how does interoperability of this BIM works? All of the different sectors, different things, and how they can be brought together by a single element called BIM. Same thing, different teams, how they use different stuff, but it has to work under a common model. If it doesn't work, then there are always issues of efficiency and loss that can happen. So to get that off, something that we need to look at, the common data environment is the tool that we need, where all of these models or the efficiencies that can be derived from each of these technology things can be integrated under one umbrella. That's what is common data environment that we need to work on, and how it helps all the stakeholders, the project team members, the contractors, suppliers, everyone, and there are no duplications and errors, which is what we are trying to achieve the efficiency. Currently, a lot of work is happening on ISO 19650, which is basically standardizing and creating mandates for implementation of these. So a lot of work is happening. Somehow or the other, I am also linked to it. I am actually linked to a confederation which is called CDCPI, which is basically a confederation for digital transformation, where it is trying to bring the assist all the eco sector, how this digital transformation can happen in companies, and how it can be assisted in one level, and in another level how to make it as a mandate or become a statutory or advisory or a guideline, so that everybody are able to derive, because everybody is trying to test. Like when Rivet came, everybody did 3D and we're trying to move, but then BIM came, then MSP, and how does that talk to others, and it went on a spree where people are not able to understand. If it doesn't come under one umbrella, you are actually losing the plot. You need to bring it together to make it work as a a norm for the industry. Then only this derivation of efficiency will happen. I am moving towards digital twin. This is my last one. I'm going to run 1 minute video, which is basically talking what does a digital twin mean. What does digital twin is basically an element which is a physical element, and there is a hypothetical or a virtual element. How they interoperate, virtual reality, all of it comes under this. All the other industries have moved towards digital twinning, especially automobile, the aircraft manufacturers, and a lot of other people. So our component and our risks and our hypothesis, because there are various things that actually govern a building or a structure or an infrastructure. So it is not that difficult. If you can do it to an aircraft, of course you can do it to a building, is my belief. So I'm just coming out of presentation, running this video, and after that I'm open to the questions. So just bear with me. I'm just going to start this